Knowing that all of these things were brought to Korea through black faces, it's kind of disappointing that Koreans try to kind of pull out actual roots of blackness from it. Even though they love to consume black culture, they don't. I was really worried about being seen as attractive in this place, and honestly it was really hard when I first moved here.
Welcome to the Melanated Files. In this series we highlight and share the stories of black people from across the globe. Remember to subscribe to this channel for weekly videos and also follow us on social media for regular updates. Let's get into the interview.
Hi, I'm Taylor. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada in the States. I'm 26 and I live in Korea.
So why Korea?
Why Korea? That's a long story. You want the short version? Short version, I wanted an adventure. I wanted something new. Yeah.
Okay, what about the long version?
Long version, I came to Korea 4 years ago on holiday and met a guy, and we kept in contact. And when my plans to Japan, like to go back to Japan, kind of fell apart, I decided I'll come to Korea, move, near him, start a relationship. And yeah, he ghosted on me 1 month before I came here, but I still wanted to get out of my current job and start something new. So I had friends who had studied in Korea when I was in university. So I contacted them, contacted the program that they were in actually Cheonan, about an hour from here. And yeah, made my way here, met some people on Facebook, stayed with them my first week, volunteered at a language cafe in Busan, and then made my way north, and I've been moving north every year since I've been here. So
what do you do?
What I do now, I'm an English teacher. So I teach, I've been teaching in the public sector last year, and I taught in hagwons, like their private schools here, this past year. And now I'm moving to part-time teaching adults in very small business style classes, but I'm also a freelance model and actress here in Korea. So being a teacher here, I had never taught kids before, or anyone outside of Sunday school before I came to Korea. So I was really scared, and I was not sure if I would like it, but it's been really cool. The kids are fun, and some of them are pretty excited. I think the system here is kind of hard. It's really stressful for the kids, so that's hard to see. But as far as being a teacher, I've enjoyed it. I'm ready to move on to something else though. So I'm going to teach adults because I'm also going to start studying Korean in a week or two at a university around here. Being a model in Korea, I modeled I did 3 photo shoots before I left the States, and it scared me, but it also made me think oh, maybe I could actually do this. Then I decided to move to Korea. How the hell do you become a black model in Korea? Really? So I just Googled who's black, who's in Korea, and I messaged some people. Some people have been here quite a few years modeling and acting, and they told me, reach out. You have to put yourself out there if you want to get opportunities. So I think my first gig was some makeup artist. She was getting her doctorate in makeup artistry. She found me on Instagram and just asked me to model for her. And so that just blew my mind. And I was oh my God, I could actually do it. So that's what I've been doing. Contacts, people who know you will, ask you to be in things, and I walked in my first fashion shows here. I walked in my first fashion week show last season, so this season is the new season's coming up in 3 weeks, so I'm I have some auditions lined up this week, so I'm hoping that I'll be on my first actual fashion show in 3 weeks. So yeah, anything you honestly, you just have to put yourself out there.
So what do you like the most about Korea?
The most? It's very convenient. Well, some things are convenient, like banks, things like that, maybe not so much. But as far as, I love convenience stores. So everything in the convenience stores in Korea are really convenient, which I like, because in the States they're not. Every time I leave home, I'm not worried like, oh my God, I forgot like my eyeliner or anything, or socks. I don't forget socks. That's for the record, I don't forget socks. But if I did, I could find them in the street. So that's what I really like about Korea. There's no guns in Korea. That's a big thing for me. In the States, like I never lived around gun violence, but honestly, you're at risk every day just kind of walking out on the road of someone having a gun or something like that. And in my state, Nevada, it's an open carry state. So we host gun shows. We have conventions. People come from all around the country to buy guns and sell guns in our state. So I've never liked the idea of guns, and to live in a place where you're not allowed to have them is, I don't know, I feel really safe. And yeah, that's one of the things I really like about it.
What do you like the least?
What do I like the least? There's a couple things. I don't like the lack of personal space, or the lack of self-awareness maybe. Because in the States, if someone bumps you, you need to make sure, and you don't know that person, you need to make sure that they know that your intentions were not malicious. Here, people will bump you, and if they don't know you, because of their culture, if they don't know you, they feel no obligation to talk to you, to say, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. And that was really hard for me to get used to. Like, I'm thinking it's hate crimes. Like, I'm thinking people are like, oh, black person, let me push them. Maybe not, but they push their own people too. So that's been really, really hard. I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves about Korea.
What's your favorite food here?
Whoa, the food here is dope. There's this soup they call haejangguk, and it's like a hangover relief soup. And it honestly tastes like my mom's like pot roast. Like it's like a big like pork bone in it. The meat it has been marinated so long, it like slides off the bone like that. The Korean food is really hearty. Like honestly, the idea of like vegan food or vegetarian food or light food it's new in Korea. People like to eat here. People eat and they drink.
Tell me about your experience being a black person.
So that's such a such a layered question. When I first came here, I had just cut off all my hair again. I don't know why I always cut off my hair before I come back to Asia, but I was really worried about being seen as attractive in this place, and honestly, it was really hard when I first moved here. I studied abroad in Japan and during university, and so I was able to kind of work through some of the whole like being black in an Asian place, kind of. But when I moved to Korea, I felt like I was back to square one. Like I felt like people would stare at me, they would gawk at me, they wanted to like talk to me or dance next to me to look cool with their friends, but they would never like approach me like or actually like have a conversation with me. And so I felt it was hard. It was really hard. As far as in the workplace, you definitely feel undervalued as far as a teacher. You see your white coworkers, especially your white male coworkers, either not doing a lot or just kind of getting praised for like being mediocre. And while you are like scolded for things that no one else is being scolded by, like my past job, there was just a lot of like little like rules that they would tell us that we had to follow that other people were definitely not following, and they were only enforced when it came to me. And so it just you feel a little ostracized for sure. Upside, you're already like the coolest person when you walk into a club, like automatically. Sometimes they'll even change the music because they're like, oh, black person. Some people do act like it's like step up too and try to do like a dance battle with you. I've stopped entertaining that. I just turn my back, no longer. Unless people like come with money. Some people come with money and they're like ready to like dance or want to take a picture. Okay.
So tell me, like, what do you think the general attitude is towards, like us here?
Of black people? Well, for one, what I learned living here is that black American culture is so influential, and Koreans love black culture. They absolutely love it. Their hip hop, their even K-pop draws from hip hop. their fashion, their food. Like, they love fried chicken. Fried chicken comes from black people. So like, knowing that all of these things were brought to Korea through black faces, it's kind of disappointing that Koreans try to kind of pull out actual roots of blackness from it. Even though they love to consume black culture, they don't necessarily see black people as the same as them. They see us as either extra strong or extra aggressive people. They see us as cool at times, but we're never in the same level as them, and that's kind of disappointing. But what I have learned is to not, I guess the same kind of like with white Americans or other white associating people who kind of refuse to educate themselves. Like, everyone, it's easy to say, I heard a lot when I moved here, oh, Koreans don't know, there's not a lot of foreigners. That's true. There's only like 3% foreigners in Korea, and even less black people. That's absolutely true. However, everyone has a smartphone. Korea has rapidly advanced since World War II, since it was in decline, and Korea should be really proud of that. But you can't have it both ways. You can't be this amazing developing country and also claim ignorance to basic facts about black people when you know a lot of facts about white people. So for me, it just takes intentionality. I don't think Koreans really care to learn more about black people, and that's their prerogative. But I'm not going to give you a pass when you pretend that you don't know what my culture is about and that you're not consuming. I am very open about saying, oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for hip hop. You're welcome for your style. You're welcome for some of your foods. And there's nothing wrong with being proud and letting people know what is what.
What's the funniest thing that has happened to you as a black person?
Oh God, the funniest? So many things. Oh my God, they're like funny now. Because when that happened, they probably weren't that funny. A lot of them have to deal with like encounters with men, because oh my goodness, my dating life here has been ridiculous. And not like in that way, like ridiculous. Like,
take us into it.
Oh God, stories for days. Maybe there's been there's so many stories, but one time I met this guy out, actually had this great night, went to a bar with one group of people, left with a whole different random other group of people, and I'm gonna get hit by a car. Yeah, that's usually the thing too, like dodging like mopeds. I'm probably gonna die. That's the way I'm gonna die here. If I die here, it's gonna be because I got hit by a moped. So I had been drinking a lot. We went to another spot. I had no idea where we were, but there were two guys sitting by the bar. And they were like, hey, come over, drink with us. So I'm drinking with them, two Korean guys, having a really good time. We strike up a conversation. And this guy, I guess I see a little girl on his phone. And I'm like, oh my God, she's so cute. And he's like, yes, this is my niece. Or it was a little boy. He's like, yes, this is my nephew. And his friend was like, yes, that's his nephew. Isn't he nice? Da, da, da. And I said, oh my God, I have at that time I had a 4-year-old niece, and we started talking about them, and he was like, yeah, like he's so smart and yada yada yada. Then he's like, actually I'd really like to take you on a date next week if you're free. I'm like, wow, okay, that turned out really well. So we pulled out his calendar, we picked a date. He was like, what would you like to do? And I said, I like cafes, we can just sit at a cafe. And he's like, great. So the next morning when I'm waking up, a little hungover, okay, I'll be real about that, I'm looking through his Kakao. Everyone in Korea has the app Kakao to talk, and I'm looking through his pictures because honestly I didn't remember what this guy looked like because I drank a lot. So I'm looking through his pictures. He said, I see the picture of the boy. I'm like, okay, his nephew. Then I see a picture of this woman holding the boy, and I'm like, interesting, that's his sister, right? I guess that's his sister. Then I see him and the woman and the boy. I'm like, okay, that's a family photo. You take a picture with your sister, right? Then I see him kissing this woman in a picture, and I'm like, that's a very close family. That's his wife. That's his 1-year-old son. So I message him like, this is your son? He's like, yes, actually that is my son, but I did not mean to deceive you. I am a good person. And I said, nope. The definition of deception is telling someone incorrect information on purpose. So no. Like, and this is not the only story. This kind of sentiment of like, oh yeah, I just totally lied to you to your face, but I'm still a nice guy. That is a reoccurring theme in Korea.
How do you find like hair products and stuff like that, beauty products, hair products?
My mom sends them to me. My mom has sent me so many things like cosmetics. Everything has come from the States, so I'm really grateful for her spending her money to like send me things. Thanks, Mom. As far as like hair, to like do braiding and things like that, there is a beauty supply store in Itaewon. I have gone in there a few times. However, I think that the woman there doesn't necessarily like black people, which is interesting. But yeah, I have bought like Marley hair to do my twists when I force myself to do it. Yeah.
If you could change one thing in the world, anything, what would it be?
Oh goodness. If I could change anything in the world, probably I would unify the continent of Africa. I would unify all 54 countries, stabilize them, empower them. Wakanda forever. Yeah.
What's your proudest accomplishment?
I want to say moving to Korea, because after I graduated college, and my plan, I had lived in Japan as a kid. I studied abroad in Japan in university. I studied Japanese in high school. I forgot a lot of it. Sorry about that. So my goal was to like always go back to Japan, do the JET program, and I honestly did not see myself not getting in. So when I didn't get in, I did not have a plan B, and it was the first time in my life that things didn't like go according to plan, and it kind of wrecked me, honestly. Like I went back to Vegas. I worked in a youth hostel, which was really fun. But yeah, I felt very, very lost, and I wanted to go here and there, and maybe Mexico City, and maybe back to England, and nothing was like working. So even though that guy, like, he was the initial motivation to go, but when he dropped off, I'm really proud that I had already started envisioning myself in a new place, even though I had only been to Korea one time, but I still spoke no Korean. I had never lived in a place that I never had any experience with the language. But I'm really proud that I exhausted all the options. Like, I found someone on Facebook to help me, get to Korea with documents. She helped me so much. She helped me like do my own visa run. I contacted my school. I found my own place to live and stay for a whole month before my contract started. And then moving from Cheonan here, like, I figured that out, and now I'm doing something even more that I want to do. I'll have more time studying in the morning, working at night, and in between doing my personal projects, modeling, doing fashion shows, the things that I care about. So I'm really proud about that.
Who is one person, dead or alive, that you'd like to have dinner with, and why?
There's quite a few people. I think I would have to say, oh my God, that's so hard. I know, you're like, oh, this girl. I should have a short list, right? Oh, I have a long list. I want to say, God. Okay, honestly, it's between a couple people. It's been between Ella Fitzgerald, Michelle Obama, and Lupita Nyong'o, because all three of those women really inspire me. Or maybe, you know what? I know, she's like random. Issa Rae. I think Issa Rae, at this point in my life, Issa Rae, because I'm entering that world of creating my own content, and what she does really, really inspires me. I love that she spent so long creating her own series, and she finally got the break that she deserved, and it's cool to see just Black people on screen in so many different ways. So I would love to sit down with Issa Rae. Yeah.
Right. What's one thing that South Korea does really well that you think the world can learn from her?
Absolutely. I think South Korea, well, one, they do Wi-Fi super well. Like, we need to get on that in the States, but basically you can walk through the street and you'll find Wi-Fi. You'll find Wi-Fi. I really, really, really love that. They do convenience stores super well. You can order, the idea of convenience with certain things, or especially food. You can order chicken or a pizza to the beach. Like, and they have stations. Like, you'll go to like a popular spot, like on the lake, or the river, and they have like stations where you can just order food there. Like, you don't have to bring your own, you don't have to pack it yourself. Like, I love that. I love that. 1 o'clock in the morning, you want something, someone on a moped is gonna show up at your door with food. Like, I think that's amazing.
Is there a place in South Korea that you think is a must visit when someone comes in?
A must visit? You have to come to Hongdae. This is where like all the shops are. It's really popular. There's a lot of food. You know what? Let's just show you. Come on. Let's go. Hurry. We have 4 seconds. Come on. We almost didn't make it. You saw that? That's like life though here. You have to run. I run to the bus. I run everywhere now. All right, you see this? People just chilling, sitting, Sunday afternoon. So there's performers there. So people will like perform, especially on like a Friday or Saturday night. This whole place is booked. Come
What are some common misconceptions about South Korea that people should know?
Well, one, a lot of Americans think that there's one Korea. That says more about our education system. But there are 2 Koreas. I don't live in North Korea. I live in South Korea. And I think a lot of the misconception I've heard is that, it's so different. Like, I could never live there, it's so different. I've been traveling abroad since I was a kid, so maybe I'm just used to living in places where I don't see people that look like me, so it seemed very comfortable. But honestly, every place has its things that people need. People need food, people need shelter, people need water. People like to go out, people like to drink and meet people. Like, so Korea has a social element to it. Culture might be a little different, but it's not impossible. And if you want to see something new, you should get out there. And you'll never know something until you experience it for yourself. So don't be afraid to do it just because you feel like it's so different.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned in life?
Biggest lesson I've learned in life? I've learned different things throughout my life. I think one is just you decide how you're going to react to situations. You can't control life. Life is something that it beats at its own drum, and you can either like be crumbled by it, or you can choose to make the best out of it. And that doesn't mean life is awesome all the time. The ebbs and flow of life. Life is amazing and like destructive and horrible at the same time. That's just the way it is. So really taking responsibility over my reaction to things this past week was like, oh my God. It really was. There were so many moments that I just wanted to cry, and I was like, I don't know. Honestly, sometimes I wonder why I'm here. Just in life, but in Korea too, because I can't communicate completely well, and but I did choose, I choose to live here, but also realizing that I live here for a reason, and that I like it, and that in this situation I can choose, okay, there's going to be a solution, and I can find it, and I can ask people for help, and it's gonna be all right.
What's your earliest memory?
Earliest in life?
Yes.
Oh my God. Honestly, I think my earliest memory, maybe I was God, maybe I was like 3, and my family was stationed in New Mexico on Cannon Air Force Base, so that's where I was born. And I remember trying to walk outside, out into the yard, and this long, like, I never saw the head of the snake, but I just see this snake going right past the doorway. And I just was frozen. And I remember crying and running to my mom. I think that's one of my earliest memories.
Any advice for black people looking to come here?
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, black women to come here? First, join like Facebook groups. There's so many now. Ask the questions that you need to ask. Yeah, it depends. Like some people, not everyone here is a teacher, but teaching is kind of the easiest way to come here if you're coming from, especially like Western countries. Pack your own hair care products, pack your own makeup. But at the end of the day, like, don't let the fear of other people keep you back. At a certain point, I had to set a date and I had booked a ticket. And I didn't have everything figured out when I came here, but I figured it out while I got here, and you can do it. So don't sit in your city wishing to come to a place and try to figure every tiny thing out before you come, because it's impossible and you never will. So book a ticket and come.
If the world was listening right now, what's one message you would share? You
need to love yourself, and you need to accept what you have, and you don't need to see other people as competition. I think a lot of our problems come from us lusting after things that other people have. Let people live, and you live your life, and I think we would get along better as people in that way if we didn't see each other as enemies.
What's your superpower? Your secret superpower?
Oh, you wanted me to tell my secret on camera? I will tell you a superpower. I won't tell you my secret one. That's secret. Superpower. I've been given. I'm really empathetic. I'm an empathetic person, and so it helps me. It helps me enter a lot of different spaces, and it helps me understand a lot of different people, and that's helped me in my professional life, in my social life. So that's something that people are really drawn to, because I can hear people out, and even if I've never experienced it, I can see people as people, whether they're acting crazy or not. So.
What's your ambitions for life in South Korea?
Ambitions for life. My goal is to be location independent. So that means that I can work from anywhere, I can still make money, I can spend my time and my life with the people and doing the things that I care about deeply. That's my main goal, whatever that looks like, but that's my goal. If you're going to be here, come with an open mind. If you're not familiar with living, like I've lived in Asia before, so I was kind of used to like not seeing people that look like me in the street. But know that you don't need to look for the validation of this culture. You don't. Now, should you be respectful in the ways that you can? Yes, but I'll never be Korean, and that's okay with me. I can learn Korean, I can adhere to the laws and things like that, but I will never be Korean. And if people don't want to accept me just for the fact that I'm not Korean, I can't help that. And that there's nothing wrong with not being Korean, and there's nothing wrong with being Korean.
Where can people find you online?
Online, you can find me at Instagram at uniquely, UNIQUELY _Rivers, RIVERS _ Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to share your story or have us visit your region, send us a message on any of our social media platforms or via our website.